my name, I'll repress ya. Anti-Semitic, bigot, profane, speech suppressor. Someday we'll just arrest ya. Anti-Semitic, bigot, profane. Curtailed, we're the victim. Get jailed.
Jennies, why don't they delete actual shit threads? Jennies, the unceasing curse. Few things are worse than Jennies. What about the BBC facts and attention-seeking Wojaks and debating whether someone is white? Or the endless Twitter screenshots in between the CCP bots? There is no one else to blame for this blight. Jennies, why don't they delete actual shit threads? Jennies, the unceasing curse. Few things are worse than Jennies. They do it for free. They do it for free. They are not paid for their job. Jenny, they do it for free. They do it for free. They are not paid for their job. Jenny, do it for free. They do it for free. They are not paid for their job. Jenny, they do it for free. They do it for free. They are not paid for their job. Jen.
We're entering into Scorpio season. It's almost October. My cousin's birthday is on Halloween. My birthday is early November. This time last year, perhaps a bit later, I was out in my tent, and I had my halogen heater, which is kind of like a campfire, and I was watching like Vinland Saga in German, and this was sort of probably not long before Halloween. It's pretty cool. So one of the deficits of normal humans that's become apparent to me is they cannot communicate to each other complex emotional states. Even people that are very skilled with writing and language, I feel like they can't quite hope to communicate every possible permutation of the human experience. But this is actually my feeling is that this is like one of the purposes of art, right? Or it's perhaps just like a byproduct, or like an element of it is it can actually do that. Like in theory, like two people can see the same piece of art, music, production, image, or combination of, whatever it is, and it can reproduce the same emotion within them. Artists are the antennae of the race is a quote that I heard. Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of a complex topic. I'm not going to go into it, but this is one thing that I feel like remote viewing can achieve. You can perceive the base individual differences between the individuals in their sort of energy state, their normal state of being, their vibration, their personal characteristic, charisma, attitude, mental state, or default state of emotion on average. You can perceive these things, but you can also perceive their emotional reaction to different circumstances and at different times, as if you actually are that person, which is very interesting, particularly to Scorpio people. You may have also heard, on your travels, you may have picked up on this idea that humans used to be able to perform telepathic communication, but they have since lost this ability. But of course, with remote viewing, some remote viewers can pick up on people's thoughts. They can read people's minds, and a speculated higher level of remote viewing, like beyond stage 8, is broadcasting of mental information out to a target. The guy that wrote the Seventh Sense book, who is like the inspiration for the main character in The Men Who Stare at Goats. He says that he could actually, to an extent, influence the behavior of his targets. So it's a form of mind control. But this was not an evil person. This was a very conscious person. But this is not a normal person that learned the skill. This was someone who says he had innate abilities from a young age that would randomly activate upon emotion, which is basically what you see in Harry Potter, in the first Harry Potter movie, which is, so there's a bit of a truth drop coming through Harry Potter there. Personally, I haven't had much experience yet of successfully mind reading, but I am told that it's possible. I have obviously tried it, and it was just difficult to verify the results that I was getting, but this was before I had this smart meter installed on the other side of the road from me, and I became electro hypersensitive. Although I believe I already was to a lesser extent, like a couple of years ago. But yeah. Are you anything like Yabushige from Shogun? Do you desire an exciting death? Or do you wonder what it's like when someone gets boiled in a pot? Well, with remote viewing, you can, in theory, experience anything that anyone in the world, in history, has ever experienced, if you just know what to tap into, what to target. You could, in theory, experience anything by proxy, which is kind of odd. For some people there might be an appeal to it in some cases. Sometimes you may not intentionally do that, but that may be the result of, that may be the result of whatever you are targeting. So it's not for everyone, I suppose. another theoretical possibility is to circumvent the limitation of information. So when we learn about or research a historical event, our perception of what happened is limited by the physical evidence remaining, or the what is recorded in the books, and we probably don't have access to all the books either. But the books that we have may not be truthful, or they may only convey like a small section of what actually happened from one person's perspective, etc., etc. With the ability of remote viewing, we can, in theory, see what actually happened at the location and time of the event, assuming the event even occurred in the first place. Personally, I haven't really explored this yet because I am not proficient enough yet to be confident in I have tried to perceive future events, and I did perceive them, but the problem is they were not necessarily what I asked for, and I can't be sure that the events were real. Basically, if your tasking is for an event that will never happen, then you may get invalid data because you're asking about something that isn't real. You may get something back that isn't real. I'm not really sure about this. I've seen some strange things when I asked what was going to happen this summer. There was some strange event in the sky over Istanbul with a large crowd of people, and there was another one over what seemed like America, which kind of seemed like a nuclear weapon or something, like a huge cloud of dust being viewed from like a soldier in a bunker, but it was kind of over like a desert or something. And when I traced the location, it was Washington DC, which was very strange because there was a professional remote viewer who traced some event, and I think it was similar, and he's almost like a UFO sighting or something, and his drawing looked very similar to Washington DC. So perhaps we saw a real event, but for some reason it wasn't within the time frame that we specified. Yeah, it's interesting. It doesn't take much to activate the psychic abilities. Sometimes I'll do it when I'm on my bike, and I'll try to guess what the next car will look like. I asked my friend, and he reckoned that yes, I may have been doing it my whole life without realizing it. Like, at times, I may have been doing it without realizing it. There's a guy in Code Geass that can do mind reading, but he can't turn it off. So he's like constantly reading everyone's mind within a certain radius, and he like goes insane because of it. Thankfully, I can turn it off when I don't need it. But I do kind of think that perhaps I've been doing it without realizing sometimes throughout my life. I don't like to be around the wrong people, the wrong type of people, and I wish they were further away. Sometimes, I like to be alone quite often, and it could be a distance kind of thing. Like there could be a distance within which I can like pick up on their energy or their kind of like their, not really their thoughts, but like the energy of their thoughts, like their toxicity, something like that. I'm not sure, or just their presence, and it like disturbs me. But I'm not like, it's not like I go into like a church and I get like a cold chill because I can sense that there's a ghost there. Like I don't do that sort of thing. But yeah, I often wish people were further away from me. And it seems to be, I'm okay with my mum being like upstairs, like she's like a bit further away and she's upstairs. My brother is like upstairs and over there, but my dad's probably a little bit closer. And yeah, they need to be about 20 feet away or more. Like when he's upstairs in his bedroom, if he's upstairs in his bedroom at the far corner of the house, that's okay. It's I don't know if it's I don't know if it's just because I know that they're there. I don't know if it's just because I know that he's there. It definitely bothers me when I want to talk about something that's not that I don't want him to hear, you know. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like seeing dark things helps me to deal with depressing times in real life. I do feel like we're in a depressing period of history right now. Like we're going into, like, you know, from this summer going into this winter, it feels like a transition period into time that's going to be more depressing for people around the world. Partly because it's winter. Like winter makes every aspect of the modern UK seem worse than it, you know, does in summer. You know, it kind of makes everything feel more oppressive, like the traffic, the traffic fumes, the noise, the rain, you know, the cold, the people, the dystopian aesthetics, and, you know, corporate kind of like government culture, where it's like everyone just follows like rules and regulations. Like it's like, oh, we must do this because there's like this regulation or law that we have to do this, and it's like we must wear high vis like clothing, and we must put like these like super like yellow signs and things, and bright, you know, there's a 2-inch like little bump in the ground, we better put like bright orange traffic cones around it, and we're gonna drive like 100 miles to like put up a fucking 20-mile-per-hour sign or a speed sensing equipment in some village we've never been before, and the villagers probably don't even want it. Yeah, all that just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like the general atmosphere, the things you see, the type of people, everything just feels kind of worse in the winter time, especially January. I really hate January. But yeah, my favorite anime series ever is Fate Zero. But that's mainly because I think they haven't done a very good job of adapting the original story, the visual novel. I do really like the visual novel, but I also like the tone of Fate Zero as well. I think they're both quite accurate to the lore, but like the way the interpretation and the theme of the story is quite good in Fate Zero. It's slightly different. The guy who made it is the same guy that did Psycho Pass. There's an anime called Psycho Pass, which is quite well known, and that's also pretty good, although it's not as rewatchable. I've made once you watch it like the first time, you get the idea. You don't really need to rewatch it. Fate Zero is very rewatchable. I've watched all of it like at least 6 times, or most of it. I'll watch like half of it, and then stop. The second half, like, the last 10 episodes are a bit weird. Kind of like the beginning of the end. After the big battle with the super giant tentacle monster, it kind of goes down, kind of changes a bit after that. That's the spectacle kind of changes. But I know Mahou Shoujo, like Madoka Magica, is another one people like. It might have been the same guy who wrote it. That's another one people like that's quite dark, but it looks like it's for a little girl's show, but it's not. That's quite. I have seen that, but I didn't finish it. Just kind of like what they were doing in the story wasn't that interesting. Like what the characters were actually doing wasn't that like interesting in terms of the mechanics. Fate has very good mechanics of what's going on, and like tactics and strategy and things you can analyze.
This is like Wakanda for whites.
It is. That's pretty dead on.
Which is why I like it.
Do you like Harry Potter? Shout out Jet, you're awesome. Shout out Sam for pranking a Harry Potter head exclusive Zoom.
Harry Potter head. Oh yeah.
Don't let anybody talk.
Hey guys, my name's Sam, but I go by Harry Baggins. I'm partially Hufflepuff, but I'm also half River Hobbit.
Well, thank you all so much for being here and taking some time to share some details. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, me. Oh man, all the time when I was growing up, I fantasized about being Harry Potter.